Testing one. Oh, wow. Wait, I'm here. Hello. Sorry. I was trying to figure out why my mic wasn't showing levels. Alright. So, yeah. I've beaten this event a few times. We do have, I guess I should show right off the bats. This is the setup that I'm working with here. It's gone through a few iterations now, but I think the first time that we got the win ended up being a little bit of just a little bit of like a freak luck type scenario. You know, Grief hit us with a basic instead of a mass assist. Didn't really feel good about releasing that one. I've gone through a couple of more wins with it. It's still I think it's always gonna be very restart heavy if you're going Gear 8 armor. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. On top of that, we do have, I think, some room to improve. I guess let's just show where it's at right now. I could show the modding. I think the modding is gonna be fluid. I've already changed this as of a couple of minutes ago. The other thing I want to say is I don't know if this is going to be Ferrari mod dependent, but the way I've been playing it has been, I would say, less accessible modding than last time to some degree. Just kind of by the nature of what this event is. It is and it isn't. So, like, for example, we have a Relic 3 Mandalorian with 279 speed, you know, not the craziest speed stat line. Ooh, wait, I actually realize I drop below that 100% mark. I mean, most of the time that's not going to matter, but it can actually matter sometimes. I had just taken this mod off, and I assume it might have had crit chance. We'll come back to that, I think. It's not great. Let's see. Anyway, the whole idea being that I just completely exit that part of the game, apparently. And now we're in tier 1, and I just double-clicked it. Alright, what's up? Alright, how easily does this beat tier 1? This is the true test. I don't know. The event seems pretty easy. I don't know what everyone's all worked up about. Alright, so anyway. She gives the best scar to the person wearing best scar out of the bunch. Interesting. Good stuff. Wow, we did it. Team is improved already. That's a little bit of extra RNG that I would rather avoid. I don't know that I have the mods to really do that. At least without disrupting the order that I've had established. So if we go into Mandalorian to kind of see what's going on real quickly here. Long live the Empire? Not today. Today we're on the Resistance side. Well, I guess they lost. We're anti-Empire today. We're pro-Mandalorian. We need to be anyway, because you'll see it's less than great. So if we sort by speed, the whole idea going on here is we're actually on Ferrari Canderous. And that kind of ended up helping turn a corner on things to some degree. I started off with the same old approach of just clocking armor to try to, you know, just line up a run where you get a Beskar armor up. And that actually wasn't enough. I would consistently, well, not consistently, but like on the good runs that I had, maybe like 20% success rate, we would get a 7-star Gideon. I'm actually, I kind of bought the hype train with you. I'm going to have him buy GAC lock. Well, I guess not by the starter lock, but by the time that I lock. I can't say. Oh, okay, you didn't say Relic 7. Yeah, I am going to be doing the same as you. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, this started off with like, I just started off with Mando lead. Wasn't really a good reason for that. We're not fighting against Trey lead this time, so that extra crit chance doesn't really mean anything. Plus, there are a couple of reasons that we want to be on Django lead is actually pretty helpful here. But yeah, honestly, I think the best way to explain what's going on here is just going to be to jump in instead of just diving into mods, and not going into tier 1 again would actually just be fantastic right now. All right. So this opener is fairly reliable. Sometimes, let's just pause real quick. So Bosk is always going to go for the weakest person, and in this case, it's a Gear 8 armor. Yeah, it's always going to be her. So that's issue number 1. is if he does anything hurty, most of the time, it's going to be at armor. That does include damage taken. I doubt that we get outcome here that is going to reflect that, but this is sort of the order I landed on. It's kind of fishing for a stagger on Mandalorian with the missile. The wins that I've gotten before were on flamethrower, but I feel like this could end up being a marked improvement. I could show why here in a second. Let's just do the old way. It's not really clocked for it, but you'll see. So let's just, you know, kind of blow these turns, whatever. So we have armor. We could clock armor to go under the Mando's turn. There's one slight issue with that, though, which is it kind of puts us at the mercy of the OG Mando's targeting, because he more often than not, is going to proc Frenzy, and Frenzy is going to cause Bosk, who now happily has his net. He could sometimes basic armor and she'll live, but most of the time, it's an issue. One thing that I also found pretty interesting is on one of the first successful runs that I did, I actually did Mass Assist first. It actually hasn't felt that bad. I think I see what's going on here. So if we do this, right, we are getting Canderous proccing a ton of turn meter. This is why he's got those speed mods on. On top of, I think the hardest part about Canderous isn't just going to be getting him fast, but I didn't realize that he's got 3% base potency, which, yeah. You usually like to see at least double digits there to start. But anyway, so we got, you know, Django lead is minus 40% tenacity, and then we've got him up to about 50s, 60s in potency. So you can see, you know, it's a little bit variable, but like we got the offense down, everywhere now. It's workable, right? And then what we start to get is, you know, there's still 85% RNG here, but you can start to TM bomb up Bosk. But this is where the restart RNG starts to come in, is especially, like, I don't know if I'm sold on fast armor. That was another recent thing that was just kind of trying to embrace how things were going when I was winning. It's gonna look really bad in a vacuum, though. It's basically trying to build towards the winning state. So the problem with going missile first is obviously it's delaying our contract. By the time that Django gets a second flamethrower anyway, we usually have contract up anyway. So this is actually like one of those rare unicorn openers, right? So she can take a Bosk basic and kind of chill. The issue is, though, that the Boba and Django AoEs that come out are really good for us and are going to be pretty bad for us if she's in that type of state. Let's just go fishing, though. Let's just see how it plays out. Because we don't, like, this strategy has won 2 or 3 times now without Beskar armor. It's actually, we could fish for the turn, like the original one, where we get the mass assist and then she somehow stays alive to get back to armor. And I do have the replay of that, but just, yeah, I mean, we've slugged it out now. Like, the Beskar armor isn't the be-all end-all, especially because we tend to get our junk stacked up pretty nicely. So Whistling Birds actually does have a role this time around, unlike the Sith fight, but it doesn't early game. Alright, so we do get the +3 on his attempts. And like pretty routinely, we can get this damage over time number up to about 25. I've gotten it as high as like 33 on Bosk's turns. So he's taking, you know, he has a huge health pool or a protection pool, especially with his lead. But he can essentially just die to damage over time if we set this up correctly. Targeting here doesn't really matter that much. For burn targeting, I kept on switching up on this. The thing that I landed on is that we leave OG Mando alone and then just go for a coin flip on not disintegrating him. The thing I don't remember, though, is, let me double check my last replay real quick. It was either Django or Boba, and I just swapped it, and I remember it feeling better, so I just wanted to double check. Pretty sure it might have been Django. Yes. Okay. I'll try Django this time. Assuming we even get there, but we're in pretty good shape. So the one thing that we're kind of looking for in both of these AoEs is we actually have fairly nicely stacked clan loyalty. We can actually get ridiculous payout progress. Like, this is usually the turn where we'll have payout off. You haven't seen what can happen so far. I would have to, like, reread the text. It looks like it's multi-procking. Like, it's doing the thing like in the Rebel event where just people are getting assist called, which is getting other people's assists called, and it just keeps on chaining. It has, like, some real insane potential to high roll. I don't see that necessarily reflected here. I don't know, something weird is happening with it. It might actually just be bugged. Yeah, so on a boss who has assist open on armor, I generally just restart. Another thing I kind of like about the Stagger Mando opener is it does actually give us a little bit of extra breathing room, I guess you could say, and it does get the burnout a little bit later, so it's not expiring as quickly, although generally around the time that it's expiring, or like around the time that we're applying it, it's getting cleansed anyway. So it's this weird thing. We're not really blocking any turn meter right now. I guess first time would be if he goes for, or if they go for AoEs in a second that would proc Frenzy. I believe Frenzy is turn meter instead of bonus, yeah. But we should brace that out anyway, so the turn order still stays valid. I would aim the flamethrower at whoever you plan to annihilate first, just because it makes their health pool less, but that also means that damage over times will hurt them less, so I would, you know, don't really want to waste that if you don't have to. Alright, hopefully we get some good basic attacking going. You can kind of see, we got one towards contract progress, not necessarily the craziest run here. Alright, so this is actually a pretty familiar looking state here. This happens pretty frequently. We have good amount of damage over times on them. Let's reset the counters so we can see. Mando's coming up shortly here. Contract should be fairly shortly here. We didn't get the best counterattack RNG, so I would say we might be 10 to 15% off. They're, for the most part, are going to go for weakest, so we probably just need to invulnerable Django this turn. It is pretty common, though, even with my Mando modding, that he is still the weaker of the bunch, though, so... Actually, that's not true. I used to be running Django super tanky. He's actually pretty squishy now, so he should... Nope. I'm wrong. I was going to say he should take the brunt here. So the one thing that's nice about this time around is because we're on Django lead, even if we take that plot or take that dive this once, it actually doesn't matter that much. We could be dropping damage on boss here just to try to goose him closer to die to damage over times. As of right now, he's taking basically 120% health, so he'll probably have about 40% to 50% health left. We're not really going to get close enough this time around. We could have had ultimate there. This is probably just gonna be a reset. But we had technically gotten payout there. You can kind of see just how big of a difference getting some nice counterattacks on the Boba and Django AoEs are here. What are my gear relic levels? Here. Let me... This isn't really meant so much as a guide, it's just like we're here. We've got a Relic 6 Django, Relic 5 BAM, Relic 3, Gear 12, and Gear 8. The BAM relics, so the BAM that I ran at first was like speedless tanky, so his relics were kind of dead weight. I did start to appreciate that Whistling Birds actually do have a chance to play a role later in this fight. So the relic levels actually are kind of mattering. And then Django, as I've been running this strategy so far, has also been pretty much bulk modded with, you know, some extra potency focus. I've just recently started trying to switch him to damage focus to see if we can pick up some extra kills once the damage over time start chipping people out. This is a very, very, very different build from, I believe I have it saved. I hate how the alphabetical doesn't apply until I restart. You can see we were on protection, 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 defense, defense, potency, potency. So not necessarily benefiting that much, all that much from the relic levels before, more just worried about the modding. Yeah, just protection spamming across the board. The whole slow tanky trying to abuse invulnerability kind of works, but it just doesn't work that well with the Mandalorian counterattacks, and you need Mandalorian to cycle Terminator because this is a race that you do not win playing fairly. You need to just rush them all down. Anyway, so you kind of get to see what we're working with. A whole broad mix. We could, like, if we dip armor's mods back down, we could actually just go back down to where she was at before, which we can just high roll Beskar armor sometimes. It does work that way. I don't know if that's actually particularly interesting. It would be more just proof of, like, hey, this is what happens negatively sometimes. Why did I do the old turn order? Yeah, we'll play it out. What you got, Mando? So this is actually, that's the exact RNG use case for why we would want armor clocked after. That just happens sometimes. Depending on the RNG of how everything goes, if we get offense down, and I used to run, back when I ran Kender as tankier, more health stack, he would still stay alive. We could just put armor tier 3 gear piece on him now. I mean, okay, we've made so many changes to this team. Or I made so many changes to this team before we started streaming. It actually might be fun to just give it a revisit. Unfortunately, I've ripped up so many mods from so many people that the game is just yelling at me nonstop. Being on a TB week doesn't exactly help my case. We're basically desperate to the point where I'm out of mod locker units. Just kind of where we're at. I'm not gonna bother looking. I don't know. Slowest speed set, I guess. That's a 12 though. Guy really did the tons. Just where it's at right now. Alright. Well, we can try. I don't remember. I did get one winning run with faster armor, but it's just so many moving pieces, so many variables. It's really hard to say what's better. So 225 is what I landed if you want to go after armor and Bosk. I mean, we'll get a pretty good idea real quick what kind of flavor is going on here. Just kind of what we're dealing with. It's a lot more restart heavy, but it's... Is there... Wait. If we could stagger him and maybe take enough AoE damage, she can't proc a third ingot off of herself, though, is the problem. So we would need someone else to take enough damage. I don't think it's really gonna... Let's try it. Also, any dodge that you get not hitting them with the contract just hurts a lot. I would almost call that restart worthy. It's just extremely rough. Oh. Yeah, Django and Bubba are so slow that even with the down clock. Okay. Alright, we'll just let the boy ride. What speed to go first? It's really not that fast. I don't know what the speed to beat Bosk is, but I would say it's actually very bad to beat Bosk. You don't want your bounty hunters to go first or second. You kind of want Canderous to go first. Because you see now, if Canderous went first and then the bounty hunters and then Bosk, they wouldn't have all the debuffs out. It just makes it a lot easier for contract progress. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna play it the old-fashioned way. Not a fantastic feeling, but you'll see why here in a second. Alright, so I took a basic on Mandalorian. Doesn't really change anything for us. I mean, it was one of the times that I won before. We just took a mass assist here and played it out. Not really that good of a playout, though, to be honest. We could try. Yeah, this is just a reset. I believe Django did Missile first, and Missile first is probably your reset condition, just because his AoE is so good for us otherwise. So depending on who assists here, that can actually get us the third ingot sometimes. But yeah. Whatever reason, they're very Mandalorian happy, and Mandalorian is built to be probably the tankiest person on this team now. Alright, so you can see, this is more the usual flavor. We didn't even pick up a third ingot, although I would say it's fairly unlikely. Small reminder, by the way, that this move has tornado removal, which actually does end up mattering for this mission. A surprising amount. So there, we're already on contract. That's how much of a difference a good counterattack session for Django and Boba, which is kind of why I enjoy making sure that we get this clan loyalty stacked. It's just more consistent. So yeah, we've got another 21 debuffs. So this is kind of the money question, is who do you disintegrate here? You got burn, burn, burn. Can't actually see if he has burn, but he has... Okay, he does. I still think it's got to be Django. The one thing that's a little bit unpleasant about Boba contract is he's going to ability block us, and Boba can just stop us from using this with ability block, but let's try this. Fairly fortunate targeting there, for sure. I don't think we've activated these yet, which also just means that we're kind of at risk of wasting Whistling Birds here. We could let them cook for one more turn. I try to use it around when they're around 100% health is what's been working for me. So here's our second burn. Looking for it on as many people as we can get. Don't get it on Mandalorian, unfortunately. Can't stop his own Terminator gains. But otherwise, yeah. Boss is going down to damage over times. From here, I'll probably just drop some damage on him. We're still on the issue of Whistling Birds not really being fully set up. There's actually one small cutesy thing we could do. We have Bounty Hunter's Resolve here, and Whistling Birds does count his damage over times, so we could actually just pop this. He would go... If he drops Mandalorian below 100%, or below 50% without dying, which... okay, it's perhaps maybe questionable. We could just pop him immediately. I don't know if that's really going to be a reliable strategy here. But maybe that's what we need to do to win. Let's try it. He goes for Django. Okay, so that was kind of cute. Django's damage over times, and when he took a turn, ended up proccing Beskar Mando. So we actually are just going to get to delete Effet somewhere in here. Grief Karga is going to give them retribution, and it sucks. And it's a huge issue with closing this out. It's one of the nicer things for getting that Beskar armor. So basically the question is, do we just want to double prep Mandalorian for Whistling Birds, or do we want to consider going for Boba? It is close enough that we actually could get a Boba kill. Let's go for it. Alright. And now we have those counterattacks. And it's not great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Was really hoping we would get to take this turn in which I was pretty sure we had the damage immunity. Please. Playable. Less so. Alright, it's time for the Django. Sacrifice himself to lay down the burn and miss it on Mandalorian, who needed it the most. Alright, he's got tenacity down. So the way that I try to look for it is, well, if you have tenacity, I basic grief. If you have damage immunity, then I basic Mandalorian. But seeing as how we have damage immunity, Mandalorian's probably the better candidate here. And that's just gonna be the match mostly. Yeah. So it's close, right? And whether you win or lose this, there's just a lot of small variables. Do you counterattack X move or not? You recommend Zetas on the armor and Moff Gideon even at lower stars. Armor, absolutely. Gideon? It really depends on how you're planning to use Gideon. His Zeta is actually kind of sick, but the range of use for it is kind of narrow, right? So think of it this way. If you're using Gideon with Vader, that 50% offense lasts for 2 turns, so if your plan with Vader is to Merciless Massacre and then choke, then the only thing he's doing that 50% offense benefits is choke. At the same time, though, Vader tends to bring a lot of support staff. Support allies gain 100% protection up. That's a pretty sick way to try to preserve banners, especially if you're using Gideon at low gear. It might even get him through a Ray ult if you bot for health. Yeah, I'm probably going to take it. The fact that it's generic as well, like, should not be overlooked. The fact that it's not just Imperial Trooper allies. And, like, the tank allies taunt thing could be clutch situationally. Is this song just completely quiet? Okay. But yeah, so you kind of see what we're working with here, right? Is like, it's close and sometimes you just RNG your way over the top, but to me it's like, I guess, well, okay, we're supposed to restart on Boss Mass Assist anyway. Sometimes he just does that. You can kind of check on the progress of how your Canderous AoE did if you're looking for offense down just by looking for 3s, usually. I guess 3s or 2s. Okay, so we did okay. I'm not 100% sold on Django being the best target to eliminate, but it's really hard to say. Because Django's missile just comes at you immediately around that time where you're making that choice, and why did I go into that? Oh, that was actually almost sick. You had success taking out Grief first? I would be curious to know how you did that, sir. Considering... You can ignore taunt to stealth? Yeah, with Whistling Birds, but unless he's squishier than I thought, like, the dude is not gonna go down. Yeah, Beskar Mando ignores stealth, but you would have to be able to one-shot him in one go with said birds. Didn't mean to drop the max health down on Mando, but the targeting for this for the most part doesn't matter aside from reducing health. They all just regenerate it all anyway. Man, no counterattacks at all. This is with 31% counter chance, too. Not the end of the world. Just a bit rough. No counterattacks on that either. Okay. I see you. I don't know if there's really any point in playing this one out. Our contract is so far off. We really do need Django and Boba AoEs to give us some good stuff to work with. Like, they will just beat you out of the punch on payouts if you aren't getting that extra benefit from their counterattacks. It didn't really aim it quickly. Oh well, not the end of the world. I didn't even see if we landed the health increase anyway. We can almost land... God, if it was possible... If Missile could give Canderous enough time meter to go right before the... Stagger proc, it would be so sick. We get a 50% resist everything we do, or only most of it? This is happening often enough that I actually kind of want to see if we can't nerf Django's health a little bit. Wow, he actually literally has no health for months. Not really much defense either. Some defense. Man, I don't know. Those are basically just missed opportunities to pick up the Beskar armor, is why I'm caught up on it. It's like, basically, we want to take as many RNG outcomes as possible and try to turn them into favorable scenarios for us, instead of just restarts. Perfect strategy to not play it? It's playable. A bit painful, but playable. Alright. Give me... We've got some solid clan loyalty. Yeah, 23%. Couple AoEs. We got the stagger hit. Armor dead, that's fine. I'm not sure why Grief isn't giving Canderous Terminator there. That strikes me as weird. I actually just noticed that. Not that it matters too terribly much, but... This is kind of a funny thing we get to do for a while. Just have everyone under damage immunity. It lasts about all of 2 seconds because we've got a fast Mandalorian and he loves to make Terminator, but... It does happen. This is a bit ambitious, but you don't really win this by not taking a few risks. Alright, we're at damage immunity. Alright. Some helpful counterattacks here and there. Again, pretty much none of these retributions are nice. Because of Django lead, Grief does have a lot lower potency, so the daze doesn't really happen. Before, when I was using Mando lead, the daze was just basically auto loss almost. Oh, well, that was good, but also bad. I would lean more towards bad, because we do just need a crit to get our payouts back. We can maybe pick up Bobo. I don't know the max potential of our Whistling Birds yet. Okay. So we do. Doesn't exactly feel great. We trade down in the process. Speaking of not feeling great, I can't imagine this going much better. Double burn. Nope, just yep, that's the wrong person. And honestly, I think for the most part, Grief Karga probably would have been able to reverse sweep from that position. We were about to get the Disintegrate. If he went for basic on Django, then their Mando died, but also, yeah, their Grief actually does just dish out damage pretty dang well with. I mean, he's got every good damage buff thing in the game that he could have. What song is this? Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's all just League stuff. I like how we switched back to slow armor to try to get Beskar set up, and we still haven't actually had a armor 3-piece set up. It's kind of amusing. Why did we restart that? That wasn't actually a restart condition. And we got the max health down on boss. I almost want to restart that just because it... Yeah. We're basically making boss tankier by doing that, if we're killing him by debuffs. The power of high frame rate. Alright, unicorn start. How we looking? Get the max health down. Still an actual Beskar, though. The bounty hunters recover health and protection when they suffer debuffs. I believe it's when we suffer debuffs. I mean, everyone's cycling Sandstorm, right? So it's all the same. Everyone's getting debuffs at the same rate. That's why the targeting doesn't really matter early game, aside from Django's burn, reducing health. Yeah, I'm talking about the opposing team. Like, if you've ever done Bosk against Darth Revan lead, or, you know, vice versa, then you will know that Bosk regenerates when he gains ferocity. That's the easy way to track that. It's opposing team. Actually, might be both. Not the best Terminator state that it could be. Maybe we double hit Bosk. Alright, we get some contract progress. Not really a great board state. Should be a fairly easy restart. Dying right after we gained the payout. Yeah, another moment they get payout. Just all of their frenzy spam. Takes a minute for them to get over it. Get a little bit frisky, huh? Seriously? It's just how we're playing it. God, I wish my Django were like Relic 5 or Relic 4. That or I just need to get into like a 5-dot circle. Perfecting. I mean, I beat this event 4 times now with Gear 8 armor. Slight, but not really. Contract should be far enough. Debatable if it's worth playing it. And the issue with this especially is because we made damage immunity, it means that we can't counterattack. So they're actually, like, watch. They should just beat us to payout now. Unless they keep on hitting the damage immunity here. Yeah, I'm not really gonna bother proving it. That's EW. Because maybe when Bo-Katan releases, we'll have the Mandalorian counter to bounty hunters. There's something weird happening. We actually made Beskar Mando less tanky. There is something weird. Like, 3 armor pieces was not this rare before. And Django was actually tankier, which is also the weird part. And I don't think we really made Canderous bulkier either. If anything, he should be on, yeah, health. Can we juice this a little bit? His defense should be worse. But this is going to cause some slight overlap, maybe. I think 281's still ahead. Please be ahead. Woo! Okay. Right, because he's gear 12, he has less armor, so a defense triangle should still keep him from getting one shot, but actually should still drop him to down below at that point. How close was it so far? We got it to last man standing. We haven't really had like a god RNG run though, but I mean that's kind of the idea, is that we won't have to. I would say that's the biggest issue with this so far, is it actually is just Grief Karga's buffs, him giving everyone Retribution with all the damage buffs, like... Yo, didn't he? Thanks for stopping by. Actually, let me get swapped over. I guess I should. Didn't have any of the overlays up. Okay, so this is actually... Man, it's crazy to me how rare this board state has been. So this is where the Beskar Mando Zeta comes in incredibly clutch. We have Tenacity down on boss gear. We got 20% TM removal, so this is essentially just an 85% check. But, you know, if we get it, we're happy. Yep, so we're happy. I just misclicked that onto Django. Oh, who knows? Maybe this is secret OP. That was old muscle memory because we used to use Mando lead. Well, let's find out. Alright, sir. He's on damage build anyway, right? This is the wildest he'll ever be. As they just systematically pick off everything around. Ah, there you go. Alright. So maybe don't do that. Yeah, just misclick the keyboard for Django. SQ instead of SW. I'm not used to dude being on the right now. Especially because of all the runs that I did of last GC as well. Get a 6. Alright. We'll take that. Yeah. So basically we want them to aim for any of the front line, I guess. Should be fair game. Depending on how we land offense up as well. Our offense down. I don't think we landed it very successfully that time. I'll just try restarting until an armor run, see what happens. Oh, is that a Bosk basic opener? It's not really worth sticking with if we aren't dropping debuffs on Bosk. Yeah, let's do it now. We'll leave the bounty hunters exposed so that they can still counterattack Boba potentially. Alright. One of the Force data seems essential. Absolutely. You need it to interrupt the Bosk frenzy. It's like yeah, it's completely essential. At least if you're going for getting the armor drop. I'm still not sure that it's really the right call here. Like, it's useful, but it's not, because you will still just die to... mass assist, even if you're completely Caribbean. Okay. So we got it, we'll play it out. I still think it's not necessarily the best way to go here. And the other issue here is, it's actually kind of bad to have your people healthy when they die like that. We actually just gave them a ton of contract progress. So like, you'll see now, like, okay, you know, in other past Galactic challenges, this is kind of the win condition already, right? It's like, okay, we're in a good spot, right? But very quickly, things start to devolve. Not the best damage minute either, considering that he's about to lose it. Alright, so they got payout before us. We just got payout, but we're already losing this race, right? So that's why it's like, yes, the Beskar can feel alright, but the armor and mass assist version really just felt like it was helping us get ahead of the race a little bit more. Extra contract progress, extra Mandalorian debuffs, or Canderous debuffs, I guess. Kinda wanna go back. I didn't save it. Alright. All we really did is just hell set sort by speed. I don't actually know if protection is the fastest option possible here. Or if it's the bulkiest option here. I mean, considering we can't go 6 dead health, it kind of has to be, right? It's just kind of the old meta. When's the TB stream? In a few hours. I'll stick to the normal time slot. I was kind of, like, we are just kind of green to go now. We could just start right after this. Yo, did we just land no debuffs? Or no damage over times? It's good stuff. And we just got the missile dodged. Yeah, we'll see how the counterattacks go. Also not particularly great, if I'm being honest. Yeah, pretty safe to restart. I don't know what changes did I make before I started stream that would make the consistency go down a bit. I mean, damage, Django, and offense, Beskar, Mando were the two main choices. Why are we playing this? Oh, we're in JTR and P4? I cannot. The P4 teams that I run, I'm like pretty much required to do if I want to run the Ketamini special mission without skipping anything. I have to go Ray Scoundrels. I can't even go Ray, I guess I could do JCR Ray. I don't know. I would still prefer Ray Scoundrels though. And they really just have to call the weakest counterattack possible when targeting Beskar Mando. Alright, we got some contract progress. Not exactly the ideal Terminator state to be in to have damage immunity, but I guess we'll do it just for some equalize. We could try doing Mando. I don't know. Let's mix it up. So he should be dead on next turn as long as he doesn't cleanse. But Mando's just like, Mando doesn't have to have Bounty Hunter's resolve since the tank dies. But it's still just a rough spot to play in. We could actually cheat out a win here. I think this is a bird time. This is bird time with possible risk of just immediately us getting demolished here. Why are you triggering? Did you, Chip, what did you do? Damage over time is just triggered whistling birds. You absolute piece of work. We just needed one of them to go. Like, Django was actually a fairly possible pickup, although obviously Boba was going to be the main one. Alright, I don't know if it's winnable now. We'll see how good 11 does. 11 actually not bad. I mean, it's workable. That was kind of... Some good wrist rocket action there, I guess. Dude put on his best Vader cosplay. God, it legitimately didn't care about anything else. Like the fact that we had Candace chilling for that long, dropping damage over times. Those whistling birds were the solution. Just all thrown away. Good old Candace. It's a good dodging action I see going on here. Something in Boba's kit that he gets back-to-back executes. I believe it is because he got contract. He got contract on that hit, and so grief reduced everyone's cooldowns. That's the rough thing, is when they get contract, they all get one turn frenzy, and grief resets everyone's cooldowns. No, only sniper, it's grief. I mean, yes, but execute only reduces cooldowns by 1, I believe. With Grief Karga on the team, I'm pretty sure he is giving everyone a full cooldown refresh. Each time any bounty hunter earns their payout, allied bounty hunters' cooldowns are reduced by 1, and Grief also gains the following bonuses. So basically, that was -3. Why do we... sure. Let's just see what happens. We're already here. That's basically -3 cooldowns to everyone, and then -4 to Boba. Alright. Hello, healing immunity. I guess this will be a good marker for how good Whistling Birds are, just to somebody at full health. Not bad. Could maybe use it more aggressively. Didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Start a button mash. Ooh, we actually get to stagger into the Mando out front. Or Kendo out front. No counterattacks at all. 33% counter chance. Whatever it was. Yeah, 33. Yeah, I think no counterattack should just be a hard reset. We need 6 more hits now. I guess we could play it out to Boba AoE, just see what happens. Seems fair. How good do I think Embo and RR? RR is a really good leader on a stick. I mean, whatever. She can do like really good damage at high relics, but most things can. She's just used for her leader. The contract is really, really easy to satisfy, so she could just cheese out a Mando payout ridiculously quickly. Embo doesn't really seem used that often. His most notable thing would be Dispel on basic, which bountiers don't typically have access to. Oh, I actually feel like landing our debuffs today. This turn order is actually suspiciously kind of nice looking right now. Well, I mean, we have burn. So burn should stop frenzy, right? So we'll hit the stagger. I don't know. So there is an argument that using the immunity that early is actually kind of bad for us because the damage over times are racking up clan loyalty. It's possible that we're just supposed to stick on basic there. I mean, what's their Terminator looking like now? Yo, Kaleri, thank you for the follow. It's looking like armor has about 2 seconds to live. Give or take. Alright, yeah. Accurate. Dude. Okay, I think that I am just gonna let the debuffs roll on us for a while. Because, like, the higher the damage over time get on us, the higher our counter chance is gonna ramp up, so... let's just let it rock. I don't know, what's the worst that could happen? Death. A little bit surprised. Did that burn took him out? A little bit surprised. I don't think this is really playing out. Yeah, they just got contracts. The nice part about Beskar Mando Zeta in this case is we don't have to sit through them looping all of their cooldowns and frenzy chaining until someone dies. No, thank you. Yeah, I would say it was accurate. I called that ball. Maybe a little bit predictable, but... I wonder how much this minus 3% crit chance on Mandalorian has actually ended up mattering. I mean, we have critical chance up. There's actually a call that we could just spec him for 75% crit chance. I didn't even think about that. What's the source? Basic. Yeah. That's actually a feasible call. I'd actually say that's an oversight on my part. I'm so used to, like, because Trey Lead was the first one that I, like, tried to this, I was just so used to jamming crit chance. It's possible that the first casts wouldn't crit and that's gonna feel bad. But I guess we're not even looking for crits necessarily anymore. It just matters for once he has ult, so it's fine. Yeah. I think there's some room to play there. Canderous does not beat up Bosk this time. For whatever reason, that race is really inconsistent. It might just come down to something as simple as we missed some hits, so Canderous didn't gain Terminator, which is unfortunate. Problem is, I don't really know what I'm going to want to fill it in with instead. I don't think it's speed. Either we just go all in on speed, or we go, like, full bulk. Have another 3 special abilities only challenge? Nah. Just been sticking on this. Health we're not too interested in. The problem is, how do you cut crit chance without really just directly cutting speed here? I don't really have fast protection primaries. That's kind of cute. We could make that workable. Is this anything? It's gonna make me remove mods, isn't it? 69%. We're so close. It's a long way from home. Wait. Okay, we can work with this position. Should have a 22 ling around here. Not really losing any relevant stats. Voila. Pulled 9k more protection. Well, what? Did we, like, I feel like I just jammed in 6 extra crit chance and we somehow went down. What? Excuse you? What's even happening right now? Whatever, I don't think that a 279 is necessarily sacred. Sure. Let's just try this. We can revert if need be. When did I ever discount protection primary mods? If anything, I probably still value them more than most people. Ask the average player what a health to protection ratio means. I'll wait. So this is gonna feel better and also potentially worse in some cases. It's sick in the fact that we're stacking protection with clan loyalty, so our Mando could actually just take an absolute beating if we get him to that point. Now, this event is going to have a lot of restart energy, but I've already beat it a few times. I'm just trying to make the whole thing more consistent by finding what's optimal. And figured if I'm going to be restarting a bunch anyway, I might as well toss a stream on and hang out with people. See what's up. Alright, this should be Candace out in front. We hit the stagger. How are we looking offense down? Not on Boba, that's an issue. So we're probably just hitting AoE. We miss it again, because we're good players. I bet we're 90 to 95% right now. That pretty much got us there. So, this is the point in time, actually. Are we just chilling? This is the point in time where we're supposed to just chill and let the clan loyalty go nuts? Could actually matter. We could even almost make this a whistling bird point in time, because boss is just going to give us full debuffs. Why not? Let's try it. I'm curious. Never mind the fact that they're about to regen and they're all going to be full anyway. This is kind of a waste of whistling birds. It's fine. It's fine. See? Contract. What's up? Just in time. Who are we annihilating? I don't even know. You're dead on next turn unless grief cleanses you. Still feels like Django's a responsible kill. Dude has every single damage debuff or buff in existence. Probably need you to be gone. This is... We're like... We're so close. There's almost a call that we could just aim it at Bosk and then overkill someone else with it. I've done Boba several points in time. The issue is just that Django absolutely dumpsters you. I flip-flopped between the two Fets, for sure. Whatever, I guess we're just supposed to go fishing here. Yeah, not quite. Because of the protection, extra protection as well, I would assume that, like, they need to basically be 110% protection. Or 100% health, 10% protection for that to be a safe full kill. Not the best counter-attacking. Why did I basic boba? I did not mean a basic boba. Boy! Yeah. I don't know, the problem is, like, the damage modding isn't great, but isn't, like, getting it done either. It, like, can edge you over into pick up an early kill sometimes. You're not exactly dropping the missile. I didn't track our clan loyalty. We can try a boba. Whatever. I'll let you see the missile firsthand. I already have the fear of God put into me. Kind of meant to AoE there. It's actually kind of turned into an okay scenario, though. I mean, not fantastic, but... So, this is still the same question, though. Is... If we just pop this now, obviously we get a damage immunity. So first off, damage immunity on Canderous never lasts, just because of his Terminator bug. If we clone now, we're not going to get that much clan loyalty. But we are going to deny them contract duration, and that has to... Or contract progress. And yeah, that kind of has to matter. I guess the other issue, too, is Boba is one of the squishier bounty hunters that we see presently, so Django, generally being a lot tankier, is probably better for getting... someone killable left alive. Are we ability blocked? We totally are. Yo, Ayo, what's up? Yeah, we kind of have to anyway. Might as well. Theoretically wasting turns, but... Oh, that should have been over here. Wow, that actually almost killed him. So if we put it over there... It would have been a grief... plus damage buff Django. I still think that's lose. Like, Django hasn't hit the pop-off yet. The offense down is off of him now, so anything he does at this point is just going to be horrifying. Yeah, the double missile hit's unfortunate. I don't know. The one thing that I changed before I started streaming is that Django's a lot squishier than he used to be. It's possible I basically gave him my good Vader mods, and it's possible we actually should be Like, he cannot take a hit compared to this. Quad protection plus clan loyalty stacking. That might have been a mistake. Right? It's considering that he's getting like plus 70% protection over the course of battle as well. We could revert him. God, this is annoying. We have between TV, Galactic Challenges, and everything else, we have like everyone unmodded right now, almost. I'm almost more impressed that I have enough space open available to be doing this. Yikes. Am I going to release a guide? No, because there's too many moving parts. I have the plan was I wanted to just do a walkthrough where I just show the stuff I was, or like go through a couple of my runs and just talk through the thought process. Ready for GAC. I actually am potentially going to do a GAC prep stream either today or tomorrow before I lock in. The problem is I really wanted to lock in a GAC start, but I need to wait until reset tonight to finish Mr. Gideon. Alright. You. I don't know. I don't think his damage actually matters that much. Like, it's kind of, but not really. Right? I'm not impressed. He's gotten some chip outs sometimes. But, in a perfect world, you would kill Grief first with Mando's Limited. Yeah, but I don't know if it's really possible to ever get him unstealthed, right? We don't really have a way to manipulate his turns to make him go faster or something. I think that's possible with Gear 11 Mandalorians. Yeah, not tier 7. I haven't tried lower tiers. I don't know how that scales, but definitely not tier 7. Like, the problem is I don't feel like tanky Jango Fett is the answer either. Like, I would just want to mod for crit chance, or counter chance if I could. I know that I like him slower than Mando, or slower than Canderous, so he is still capped at 280, but like, what is actually even worth filling his stats in? We could just go, I don't know. We're actually just dropping a ton of potency. What if we just try to, like, hybrid it? This is gonna be horrible, but... How do we end up on health? Or, offense? This is weird. This is not a good idea. Whatever. You know what? I've had worse ideas already. I think I'm semi-bought on this. This Django can at least take a hit. Fend for himself. A little bit of contract progress. Appreciate that. And then it just stopped. Yikes. I don't think our order should be that disrupted though. That's the weird thing. Question, what do I call you? Your channel is the playbook, but other YouTubers call you Fatal, your in-game name. Just go by Fatal. I don't know. The channel is called the playbook. I go by Fatal. No, it's a weird case of wanting to have your cake and eat it too, I guess. It feels weird to rename myself to the playbook. That's like a really weird username, but it feels really appropriate for the channel, so I don't know. Yeah, just go by Fatal. Yeah, so what is causing this? We're not hitting that 24 clan loyalty mark anymore. I think I was running Beskar Mando slower than the Bounty Hunters before. So our Canderous has a different turn meter clock. Probably worse based on how it's performing. We're basically wasting Canderous turn meter right now, so let's see where he lands. I almost want to leave this. We get the triple armor piece. I have had armor survive to our next turn here before, but it's rare to say the least. I am kind of button on this theory that damage over time is good for us. Right, we kind of need him and him to go with those damage over times and pass turns, and he could die once. He could die once before getting contracted. It's not the end of the world. We'll get another Bounty Hunter's Resolve back. Counters X. How? I don't understand why I've been getting such bad counterattack RNG then. That is one thing that's been pretty different so far. Like 30% on everyone and no one's counterattacking? I don't get it. The retribution here is rare, and that feels like it should be a restart, most likely. I guess we could try to play it out. I guess boss gets least menacing. I mean, he's cleansed, though. The debuffs are gone from him. Yeah, this should just be a reset. %85%. They probably beat us to contract, even. Yeah, I don't know how he landed here with Beskar. Something weird happened with him. I don't know if I just stole a mod from him and didn't realize, but he should be slower. I don't know how he got faster suddenly. Yeah, it's weird. We really want to use the cleanse, but we really don't want to use the cleanse. This is a very... It's kind of interesting. Alright, so we get the stagger. Pick up the AoE and hopefully gets... Okay, hello. I feel like we just made up all of the counterattacks and we've missed this entire stream altogether. This might be payout. Yeah. Okay, but still, what does it mean, though? Mass assist, probably dead armor. He could... like, one of the winning runs I had, he just happened to do basic on someone else. And that could lead to something. I wouldn't really expect it. I would expect that to happen because it just gives him the free damage buffs and he loves it. I'm actually pretty sure that Grief is targeted to go for weakest. Alright, we're at 68% counter chance. We could let it rock a little bit longer. We do have Django and damage immunity, so he is kind of just doing his own thing. I don't know what the timer is on Bosk cleansing himself, but I would assume he's not dead to debuffs. I don't know. I'll crowdsource this one. Who do you all want to see die here? Let me throw away the clutter here. We could go for a Boba shutdown, I think. On the first run that I won, I actually did Bosk Annihilate first, but that was because I saw that Armor was about to take her second turn, and annihilating him would get her there safely. It really does just become scary that, like, you've got Django with all of these damage buffs, and Boba has an execute move, but Django, just anything he does, basic, special, anything, will just dump truck anyone, anytime, you name it. One thing that is kind of cute, too, is Boba's execute. Oh. I believe his AI would default back to using AoE again. What was a pain here? Alright. Yo. Actually a pretty nice chunk of damage. Okay. We're probably just supposed to re-go for burn here. Don't know why I aimed at him. Yeah, this Whistling Bird was a little bit hasty. I was hoping that one of them would go to cash in their damage over time, so we just ended up... Yeah. Kind of unfortunate. I guess we could try to get Django low to tee up our Django to finish him off. It has to be on Django's turn, doesn't it? Yeah. Maybe we counter him to death. Okay, vaguely playable. We're probably loyal enough. Maybe it's time to cleanse. We don't really need it yet, though, right? We could just chill. We We got 134 stacks. I think we just play this out from here. Hello. Alright, he is no longer immune, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a win. I believe I agree, unless Grief has some sick moves in mind. He actually has reverse swept me before. Like, I mean, you see what he's doing right now. He can do it. We're probably supposed to Whistling Bird just to get the heal immunity. Alright. So that was a win. No armor. Not really any notable RNG that I remember. What did we do there? We did end up doing Whistling Birds fairly early. This is kind of what I have in mind, though. Is like, if I'm gonna make a guide, I would want it to be fairly consistent. I wouldn't call anything that we've done so far consistent. This last one really wasn't anything crazy, though. We'll start at the top of 2x, and I'm pretty sure it all played out pretty standard. We did burn on Django. That actually could matter. We did burn on Django, but then didn't go for kill on Django, or we like didn't go for disintegrate on Django. We just went for. Wait, did we? Yeah, we disintegrated Bobo, right? Nope. Wait. Oh god, I'm an idiot. This was totally pre-stream recordings. This isn't YouTube. Alright, let's run this back. Burn on Django. Hitting Django, it's gonna get regen anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but the mass assists. Get one extra hit. I believe it is basic here. Alright, so Cantor's got a fairly nice pop-off here, which I think is also mattering because it means that we're getting extra clan loyalty. Yeah, everyone died fairly normally. Or Kendra stayed alive a little bit longer, but ended the same. This was the spicy choice of do we just let it ride for a bit, and I think we did. We had a lot of clan loyalty by the end. Yeah, we went for the Whistling Birds kind of early, but actually like we had a really, really nice Django finisher, so that feels like the right call. Talking it through, I believe we went for Boba. And Boss gets loaded to the teeth with DOTs. Yeah, that was interesting. So this was simultaneously a really good idea and a really bad idea. So Django only blocks revives on his turn, I believe, which is what was happening there. So like Django's about to go next, right? So by doing this, we basically denied him all those damage buffs. We did take offense down off of him as well, but I guess he had a bit burn queued up anyway, so not really the most threatening thing. But like, it was workable. So Whistling Birds, like, yes, it does block revives. It's cute if we can get it, but maybe not. Like, doesn't necessarily have to be the way it's done. Could just be a chunk of damage. Yeah. There is a legitimate chance of grief reverse sweeping you. It's happened to me earlier when I was testing. It does just happen sometimes. Like, you get to hear. This was actually the most important part. Like, obviously the damage was nice, but the heal immunity. So that he couldn't just, like, regen counter tank us to oblivion. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Zeta Sabine and the Mandos? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Let's think it through, right? So, like, Expose could be nice. Could actually just replace Armor there. If Armor isn't surviving to get the armor piece, which I would say is unrealistic, right? I think we could all agree on that based on how this went so far. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't give her a Zeta for it, by any means. But AoE stagger, certainly. It's wild how much this ability evolves in between the Zeta and the non. Wait. I mean, expose and stagger. Yeah, the real sick part would be AoE stagger. Wait. Oh, sorry, I misread that. For a second, I read stagger targeting me for 2 turns. Yeah. I could see it. It would give you a tool that you could actually just reset their turn meter off of and then potentially get armor to second turn. I would say somewhat realistically. It sounds nice, but yeah, there's no way I would take a Zeta just for it. I eagerly await CG releasing a Sabine run, reworking about a week from now, where I could have used this now, but yeah, so I'm going to take that speculatively. Yeah, for sure. I think it sounds nice. I would swap out, well, oh god, wait. If you had 6 slots, it sounds sick. I don't know that I see Canderous really being worth cutting. Right, those DOTs, like, if those DOTs didn't mow down Bosk, we don't get that last one. That's tough. That's really tough. Could maybe try in Beskar armor spot. I could see that maybe working. If you just have a nice clean order that guarantees you getting to Canderous being alive for a while, getting, you know, mowing all those debuffs out, plus everything else. Yeah. Beskar Mando is nice. But, like, we actually kind of coasted a lot on Django's payout immunity more than anything. Ooh. So it's one of those weird spicy turns. This is like rare good RNG, but at the same time is kind of like, okay, so imagine at this point, right? This is where, like, I'm thinking like an AoE stagger would be sick. We've got armor at 3 piece, but she's at 10% turn meter, right? And you could actually, like, if you were running that AoE stagger, then I would say you run armor as fast as you can. You don't really try to clock against their team, you just play for your stagger. Like, armor in this case, 99.9 whatever percent of the time isn't going to stay alive here, but this would be that scenario where Sabine Grenade would actually just be awesome. Yeah, so we just did basic, right? pretty good counterattacks, if I do say so. We did this around this point, right? The only problem is Beskar Mandalorian was not this low last time. He's low enough that he's probably the focus of their attention, so I wouldn't expect these Whistling Birds to really pay off. I guess let's try it. Let's try it. Actually, pretty solid position. I do feel like we need to whittle Bosk a little bit. A whittle bit. God, is he actually still the priority target? Ooh. He's close enough that the birds feel viable. I don't know that I agree with... This Django turn is just so scary. Whatever, let's try it. We got the win the other way. Ah, we don't even get the finish. Not worth. I don't know what that happens. Yep. Managing Grief in the 1v3. It's just Grief in general. Grief, like... Because he gets... Against Geared Armor, he gets that reliable kill payout where they all just get ridiculous damage buffs. It just makes it so much harder than it needs to be. I actually... What? What? I just do. I thought about like trying to get her to gear 9 just so that in some scenarios armor might not be the weakest if I gave her full health and protection modding. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's that much room for improvement. We could try front-loading Beskar armor on offense instead of... He's got mostly speed and like really bad offense secondaries. We could just go the other way. Ah, Grief almost got himself to turn. Dude's actually getting mowed down a little bit here. For 11 birds, we actually kind of have to take this, right? Not sure how I feel about this run. It's also a really weird, fun thing that Boss does sometimes, is if everyone has damage muted, his basic just goes into the floor behind Django. I don't know why. The issue is Boss actually just kind of hurts a lot with this Mass Assist here. Them having 2 Mass Assists left is like really bad for our survivability. This missile's uncomfortable though, we don't really want to get Django hit. That's helpful, but not exactly problem solving. I guess. Mm. I wouldn't exactly call this sustainable. Don't we have tenacity? Excuse me? We totally had tenacity for 2 turns, and I can't imagine. I can't think of. Doesn't Grief Special has a dispel on it, right? Maybe he just did it, I guess. I saw a boss basic that might have just been bring them in cold plus. Yeah, it's unlucky. What raid team do I use in LSTB? I have a guide out for that. Do I still have that command up? Let's see. I play 20 questions with myself. There we go. Different raid team for phase 4 I'll be showing on stream today. It's just a weird like Ray Scoundrels thing that I kind of have to run because I really don't like Ray JTR for the most part in the later waves. I get that it works fine people for earlier phases, but it just feels rough for me later on. This outcome hasn't happened in a while. Did get the stagger. I have a couple of bounty hunter counterattacks. Workable. Is this too early? I kind of actually just want to go for it. Boss is gonna proc a lot of whistling birds for us. So this is sick. We're gonna have damage immunity until Django gets his Hunter's immunity back. I guess we should have been hitting Django for gonna. Oh, hello. What are we doing here? Okay. What else we got? Got the immunity, so I don't really care about this one. Got tenacity, so I don't really care about hitting him. Just gonna eat that. Maybe that wasn't the call. Yeah, even I think it's the same case. I think Grief reverse sweeps us there. I don't know. I don't know how many times I want to rerun this past this. Kind of. I mean, the whole premise of this stream is that it's going to go a little bit stir crazy, right? But I do like the early whistling birds. That feels like it's paying off really nicely. We need to start. Okay, we're going for Boba, so let's reduce him. Then we need to start hitting Django to get the grid off. I don't know if his turns are true defense. Like it says when receiving damage, so I assume that the damage over time would shred it off of all of them. But I don't know that for certain. Turning into British actor. Yeah, not alive as much as I would prefer. Canderous, it feels like Canderous surviving to get to the missile. Also, Django doing missile first. That's different as well. Kind of weird outcome. Yeah, that was the one punish for us. I was hoping that we could have Mando die, then get back into resolve with the payout. This is the first time you've done P4. Yeah, I do Ray Scoundrels in this case, but when I say Ray Scoundrels, I mean like Ray, Nest, Vandor, L3. But keep in mind that the comp that I'm using is because of the Kianimuni special mission. It forces you to shuffle your entire roster around to make everything work just to get the 1 out of 2 in Nexu. I guess if you ignore Nexu, you can make other choices, but I can show the comps here in a second. We really just want to make sure that Canderous stays alive until second missile. When did I go into Whistling Birds? Why do we have it down? It's actually at 21, but doesn't really mean anything. I don't remember doing this. This is kind of funny. I don't know. What is even happening? We got the heal block on him. It's just missile warfare. Alright. Well, since we're out of it. So you can kind of see, right? So we have General Skywalker and clones tied up in their own mission. Then you have Galactic Republic Jedi tied up in their own mission. The Jedi node, the actual Jedi node, doesn't have anything except for non-Galactic Republic Jedi. And then you have General Kenobi and Anakin tied up in the Padme node. So the only way that I can satisfy getting a 1 out of 2 is with these 5 characters. Right. I've pretty much used everything in my roster that I can, except for, like, you know, this exists. I just don't like it that much. It feels pretty bad to me. I think I tried both leads. It's just, you know, JTR Droids has some really nice aspects to it that without R2 and C3PO, it just feels a lot worse to me. Have I not lost the will to live yet? I don't know. I mean, to some degree, I don't like restart RNG, but it is problem solving, which is what I love doing in this game. So the problem is I feel like we're kind of drifting past problem solving and just like seeing different ways that the match plays out now, and just some of them work and some of them don't. I haven't really been tinkering that much. I don't know. I like a couple of the changes that we made. New Django feels better. A lot better, actually, but we did get a couple of close wins or close calls in succession. I don't know if that's realistic to chalk it up to just things being improved a little bit, or just we got good counterattack RNG. It really does seem counterattack related. Like, let's see. Okay, he didn't counterattack. I wonder, so Boba should always AoE here, but I wonder if he's going to be programmed to go for execute if someone's low. That would be a pain. Or I could just, yeah. It's true. Maybe, but again, I have gotten it to work, I guess, 5 times down. It's just a question of how much can I control that to improve it, or is it just good luck ram your head against the wall to some degree? I don't know why I restarted that. I think that was fine. Dude has resisted 5 damage over time so far. Just wanted to point that out. Yeah, it's just grief basic, really. So let's start setting things up a little bit here. That doesn't help. I was really hoping we get some time bought, because we did just lose, or we did lose a chance to make any extra Bounty Hunter's Resolve since we took a turn right before dying. It was like the worst possible timing for us there. It really sucks that when he dies we lose our clan loyalty stacks as well. Just do it, dude. Yeah, we almost got the kill. That's all I really wanted to see. I don't know. The process feels kind of set in stone. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Definitely always reset on those. I could maybe see myself. I still don't think I'd be comfortable calling it a guide, but I think that this is going to be the basis for the walkthrough. AoE, basic. Target Boba, go for Flamethrower. Target Django, go for Assist Call. Target back on Busk. Even though you're pretty much always going to be targeted on him, just in case it's one of those weird ones where he doesn't taunt first. If he just does basic first sometimes. Alright, the Canderous triple basic again. Mando didn't cause a Bosk assist call, so we might see things progress a little bit. I'm not sure if we're supposed to take more basics or an AoE here. Probably depends on how well we've spread out offense down. We didn't get it on Django. That's probably a problem. Yeah, and then at this point we're just looking for counterattacks. So we didn't really get any for Django. We got some for Boba. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make this run feel fantastic. Exactly. This could actually just be a Whistling Bird's turn. 90. If it was 95, maybe. I guess Beskar Mandalorian potency actually could kind of matter here. I haven't exactly thought of it that way. That healing immunity does matter. Alright, so Bosk is down, down, down. Django gets teed up for a fairly nice finish, I hope. Not really. Just kidding. We just got pranked. Grief is dead on his next turn if we can goose him correctly. This is actually playable. It's actually very playable. I think we just win this. This next turn is extremely problematic, but we hit the stagger. Sure, why not? Yeah, what's up, regional? Canderous is pretty useless here overall. I highly disagree. Makes Bosk not target armor. I don't know. I strongly disagree that Canderous is useless here. You got to keep in mind that he is setting up 20. He's basically doing 100% of boss health at minimum, sometimes 150% with all that debuff spam. And what you said is true. But the problem is, like, just as an example, whatever. Sabine, you're hired. Is she tankier? No. You're discounting the offense down. I think you're also discounting the damage over time spam. Let's play it out, though. That was, we definitely restart that one. Django doing a basic pretty much never happens. It's weird. You need the ingot? I mean, don't get me wrong, the ingot's nice. Did I name it Django? No, whatever. It's just... I used to have a strategy that was built around the ingot, and just, it wasn't causing a win. Was the problem. Like, one mass assist, even with full critical hit immunity, was still just enough to take him down. But I didn't also have 4 protection in primary before. We could try that again. I think we could try to... Like, we are letting our clan loyalty stack higher, so that is causing us to be even tankier, so ingot... I guess we should be dropping our speed then. If the whole point of this is for the speed drop. But the problem is... It's gonna ask us to move mods again. I can feel it. Okay. Touche. Video game. The problem is there's no guarantee that we get triple armor piece. We're still at the mercy of Mandalorian targeting restarts. Of course they just spoon feed me. Why did we go to Whistling Birds? Earling Whistling Birds was actually something that I was considering a while ago. Just because if we hit the AoE damage immunity, it kind of puts them on a timer, which was kind of nice. It stops the boss bleed. Hey, we don't have the potency modding to make use of it. I mean, hey, let's see. I think we still need the restart spam, same as before. I do like what the healing block is doing here, actually. I don't know how much Beskar Mando's speed really feels necessary here, either. You're asking about GL Ray? For GL Ray, sorry, the playlist for Ray Rebels is what I was referring to. Again, I basically, because I like using C3PO with JTR, Ray as a replacement for TLS and C3PO works really, really nicely. Highly recommend. I mean, do we just run this back? I don't know. I kind of want to try it again, actually. Like, we're just dropping pressure on Django right now. The damage over times haven't really ramped yet, but... I almost don't want a missile yet. That's fine. maybe less fun. You watched the 3PO on GR Nexus Zone? Yeah, that's why. Sorry, I don't know if you were tabbed at watching the videos when I was showing it. I use a specific phase 4 setup if you're trying to do. It gets you 1 out of 2 Nexu plus access to the Kiaramudi special mission. I feel like that's probably a restart. You started getting abused a lot suddenly, though. I wonder why. I mean, I know that Canderous taking hits means that he gets put on the clock a lot sooner. We do have at least one protection piece. Is this just the same build as the one next to it? It might be. Of course it is. Let's lean a little bit Ferrari. Offense. Worry a little bit less about speed. Realize that I don't have that many offense mods anyway, so this isn't even changing that much. In fact, if we really wanted to get sneaky... Alright, this might be too many memes. This might be too slow, but I'm curious. We didn't really even address potency in that loadout just now, though. Also, this is a big problem. Yeah, without fast Canderous here, we have to have someone going first, otherwise we just make no contract progress. What's your base speed? Not fast enough. I don't know, I mean, we're getting armor at a fairly decent rate comparatively. Yeah, I think Canderous is clutch. We're at like 12%, 13% counter chance as well when the AoEs come out compared to fast Canderous. If you can stop mana from feeding TM by staggering him, you'll contract much quicker. We used to run that earlier. Don't know why I just did that. Because I was thinking about it. It's one of the first things I started doing in this. This is someone else's setup. I'm just giving you a few paces. It does have some things to like. I don't know what this... I wonder if this is an AI thing. I wonder if they're focusing him down the moment that he activates Whistling Birds. This is happening too much to be a free coincidence, I think. It's really, really weird. If that's true, I wonder if that's exploitable. Oh yeah, they should just be hitting contract before us. It's kind of just over. That's the other thing I don't like about the armor method. It's just too slow pace. You can, like, with 3 people alive, you can just 50-50 that they take Django. I guess it's like 33, but if you just chill on the Whistling Birds. I don't know what it is about Beskar Mando suddenly being the tank. We only did basic that time and they still went for him. I mean, if they always go for Whistling Birds, then that actually is a fairly reliable third armor piece. But the problem is I just don't know that there's that much room for creativity from here. It's just like, how many counters do we get off of AoEs? Okay. Maybe deconfirmed. Maybe it's weighted. I'll do it like 2 more times, see what happens. I mean, it did happen again. Because of that dodge, though, it means that armor doesn't get the armor piece, so that's just bad RNG. Yeah, just random. I don't know. I'm happy with the solution that I had. I still don't know if that's video worthy though. I guess it does have general guidelines. It's just a matter of, hey, look for a run where you get good counterattacks. It still feels really, really weird though. It feels like we're getting hit with AoEs with 33% counter chance and just coming up completely empty-handed. It's just RNG, but it did surprise me how often that was happening on stream. It felt more random off stream. I would expect to get like 1 on average, maybe 2. Yeah, the odds are my 33% chance to get rolling, then every counter chance there has a 50% chance to call something else, I guess. It's a weird thing. You can high roll it sometimes. The high roll does help you get the contract. I don't know. Alright. Not sure. I do feel like it's running slightly better, but it doesn't feel like consistent by any means. It is still definitely restart heavy. Alright, I think we've been streaming for long enough. Still plenty more to stream today. We got LSTB coming in 2 hours. We'll be doing that. Yeah. Just a heck of a lot of stuff going on. It'll be good. Alright, I'm gonna take a break before that. By break, I mean I'm just gonna go back to off stream doing stuff. Alright, peace out. How can the enemy Mando get 2 disintegrates back to back? Shouldn't? Definitely shouldn't. Oh. No, it still shouldn't. There's like a weird clause if they could somehow get his disintegrate off before grief gets payout, but I think that's impossible. I mean, if he counterattacked you a bunch, then sure. Alright. Peace up.